if it was the VAC or something else, but one of them, and they finally got it resolved, but they weren't answering my question quite correctly. And finally we were able to communicate, but
Was the
he
VAC?
did respond.
Well, I'll keep trying. My old nickname, I guess it's still my nickname, was Glass the Glitch Finder, because I decided to heck with the Wise. I wanted one of these vacuums, so I bought one of the Shark self-cleaning ones.
That's
and
what.
It won't connect to my, and it won't connect to my network.
Oh,
It has to be the 2.4.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm using.
you have an issue with your Wi-Fi.
Yep, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, but I can take every computer in the house, which I've done for testing, and gone to different rooms and gotten a strong connection signal to that particular network.
When is the last time you rebooted your router?
Last week.
You unplugged it and then plugged it back in?
Yeah. I know that's usually the first step they recommend.
Yeah, because some addresses might be getting stepped on.
That could be. Well, I'll wait till the meeting's over today.
Jim, I have
One thing, if I don't know what kind of router you have, but do you have a an app that you can access the workings of the router?
Well, yeah, I just go directly into the router.
See if you have something called a channel finder.
Okay.
Run that, and then that will prioritize all your Wi-Fi Wi-Fi devices.
Is that a different app, or is that?
No, it's built. Well, I have a Linksys, and in my Linksys app, I have something called Channel Finder, and I run that, and that sort of prioritizes all my Wi-Fi devices. And I have like 30 or so that I'm running.
Yeah, well, I'm using what do they call it? The Surfboard router. It's about a year old.
Now, Surfboard, is that a router or a modem? Surfboard.
Surfboard. No, I have a separate modem, a separate router.
And the router brand is Surfboard?
Well, let me. I can't.
While you're checking that, Steve's got a question.
Yeah.
There he is.
Go ahead, Steve.
Mine may be a bit involved. I usually do backups. Well, a backup, meaning I clone my system drive to another identical SSD drive. But this time around, I had something rather peculiar happen. And I think I've solved it, but I'm not entirely sure why it would have happened or what would have caused it. But anyway, the point is, what I did was I cloned the drive and then put the drive in that I just cloned, and Windows goes through its little whirly thing, about ready to start the drive up. And then it goes back and starts up again, goes to its little whirly thing again, goes back. And it kept doing that over and over again. So, oh, great. So I cloned the drive again. I cloned the original one that I'm cloning, works fine. The cloned one keeps going through an infinite loop all the time. So I got my recovery USB Windows startup disk, booted off that, and looked at the recovery thing where you can go to a system file to recover your Windows, and it asks for the system file. So it shows me the directory structures, and I'm looking at this. There's two drives in here. One is C and one is D. My Windows thing, it's showing it as D. My data drive is showing up as C, even though it booted up from the C drive, which was supposed to be Windows. But yet when it goes into Windows to start the thing up, it mounted the drives in the wrong way around. So what I did was I just pulled out the other drive and just booted off the one cloned drive. And of course, it only had the one drive to C to boot off,
Did it-
and that was okay.
Did-
And
Did
then-
it boot
then I
when you
put the-
did that?
Well, then
Did
I
it boot?
put the D drive on a USB stick and plugged it in while it was still on, and then made sure I went into Mini Tool Partition Wizard and made sure that it was assigned D drive so that it wouldn't start up and thinking that was C drive again. But I mean, is that something that is a fault in Windows, or would that be a fault of the hardware, or what? Because I mean, it's pretty silly that it starts to boot from the boot sector on the C drive and then mounts it as D and has the data drive mounted as C drive. I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
Sorry, I can't help you on that. At least I, I don't know the answer to that.
Oh, well, the other thing, what you remember when I asked Bob if you can get into Windows with F8 if the thing gets screwed up, and he said you interrupt the boot sequence twice, and the third time it'll go into safe mode.
Mhm.
Well, in this case, that doesn't work
Mm.
because it still thinks that the C drive is mounted to D, to the wrong
Mhm.
drive. So when you shut down and restart and interrupt the boot sequence, it's still trying to boot from the wrong drive.
That
Steve,
sounds like a BIOS issue.
yeah, Steve, why are you using that procedure? I'm just curious.
Well, I want to make sure that I've got an intact boot drive. The system drive is on one SSD drive, and I get another SSD drive and clone it exactly from one drive to the other. Then if anything goes wrong, like Windows decides it's going to update and screw things up, I just take my other drive, put it into swap them around, and I'm up and running. I don't have to spend the next 2 weeks reinstalling building Windows from scratch.
Okay.
It sounds like a BIOS issue to me.
Yeah, because
well,
one
the
of the,
other-
go ahead.
The other thing I was thinking was that it could be something to do hardware related with the two drives, because the SSD locations on the board itself that's in the laptop, one of them is near the heat sinks and the other one is away from it. So what I do is I put the C drive that I want to boot from away from the heat sinks. And it could be that ASUS, for some idiotic reason, thinks you should have your boot drive near a heat sink.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily think that, but what I'm thinking is that those two drives are, even though you cloned them, I think the ID mechanism between the two is different, and Windows recognizes that that's not the same drive that was originally in there.
Yeah,
And
except
that
that's
might
not
be-
true.
that-
I've been doing it for a long time. This is the first time I've had this sort of nonsense happen. But I do it all the time, like every couple months or so.
Okay.
Let's, Steve, let's give some thought to that.
Yeah.
Bill, if you have any, I'll let Bill think about that, and we'll
Steve,
maybe
shoot
bring.
me an email. Shoot me an email. I'll put my email address in the chat, and just tell me the steps you're going so I can follow it, and I'll see if I can troubleshoot that for you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Well, the other thing I tried as well was a program called Macrium Reflect. I don't know if anybody's heard of that, but it's one that can do image backups of your system, data drives and system drives. But it's supposed to have a cloning function in it as well. Well, I tried it to clone the drive, and my original boot drive had like 300 gigs free space on it. The one that's supposed to be an identical match of it, of a clone, using this Macrium Reflect, it had like 400 gigs free space on it. So there was a difference of like 100 gigs between one and the other, and yet it's supposed to be a clone. So I thought, okay, maybe it's screwed up. So I tried it again, changed some of the settings, just got exactly the same thing. So this Macrium Reflect one doesn't even do a proper cloning. Because I mean, if you clone a drive, you should get exactly the same size from one to the other.
Yeah.
Steve, have
Steve-
you tried a Cronus?
Yeah, I've tried a Cronus. No thanks. Totally useless piece of junk as far as I'm concerned.
Steve, I want to take Carl's question now. Is that okay?
Sure.
I'm sorry we couldn't get more into what it's a very specialized area, and I'm not sure. Well, think about it and maybe bring it up.
Yeah, I know it's a pretty involved one, but you'd think it would be fairly straight.
Fairly fair.
I mean,
Yeah.
Backing up your system is pretty much a necessity. I mean,
Right.
if anything goes wrong, it's like doing a tightrope without
Mhm.
a safety net. You know, your system screws up, and it doesn't take much. Just one
Mhm.
Windows update can muck up the whole thing.
Carl, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I have a straightforward, easy question. I installed, I tried to install Windows 11 on my Sony laptop, and it came up and it said my TPM is only 1.2 and I need 2.0. The question is, can I upgrade the 1.2 to 2.0?
Isn't that a physical chip?
Well, I believe it is in the BIOS or something like that, and but I'm just wondering, is there a fix for it? That's all.
Yeah, if you check for a firmware update, go to the manufacturer of your system. Like if you've got an ASUS laptop or whatever, go to ASUS and see if they've got a firmware update for that model.
Well, it's a i3 processor. I think I did the BIOS and it said it was up to date, but
Well, what
that's a
generation?
couple
is it?
weeks ago, so my memory may not be exactly right.
Carl, how old is the computer?
Yeah.
It's an 8-year-old computer. It's just,
Nah,
It's not gonna run.
it's not gonna run.
Nope.
Forget
No.
it. Forget it. It's not gonna run.
I got that. That's why it's not running. But the
Yeah.
question is still, can you upgrade the TPM?
I do not think on an 8-year-old computer, you'll upgrade it to TPM to run Windows 11. Now, Bob would know the answer to that. Bob's not here today. Bill, do you have any? I mean, I just don't think an 8-year-old computer is going to run Windows 11, no matter how.
No, the
Well,
process-
It's not, and
the
it's not worth
processor.
even trying.
Right.
Well, the
That's not.
TPM has been around for about 10 years, though.
It has, yeah.
Yeah, I'm checking it now. See, it's a
2.0 is
Sony-
more recent.
Well, the point is it does have TPM in it because I did a little research on it and I saw some suggestions that it may be not activated, but that you can turn on TPM, but in this case, it clearly says I have 1.2. Well, thanks anyways.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to Tech for Senior. We'll be getting the show started in about 8 minutes. If you have any questions or if you're new here, we've started our promo, or I've started our promo now that comes out on Saturday, plus the newsletter on Saturday has the schedule for today's show. So I've added that, and so we might be getting some new people come in. And if you are new and you want to say hello, please don't feel intimidated. Just wave your hand, scream, yell, or whatever, and introduce yourself and say hello. We're always happy to welcome new people to our Monday mornings. As most of you know, this show, we also have 2 shows a week. We have this show, and we also have our Tech for Senior Live, which is on Thursday. It's so we have 2 that you can, and of course they're all taped, and you can watch those as well. I'm looking at.
Ivana has her hand up.
Go ahead, Ivana.
I think the other day, when I asked about the television and being able to hear it and no one else, I asked my question wrong. I went on YouTube and I've ordered a Wi-Fi, a Bluetooth transmitter and some headphones that are Bluetooth. Then I should be able to listen to television and not disturb anyone else. Right?
Okay, yep, should work, should work. That's
Thank you.
that's a common thing that most, people want to use, headset sets on a television. So you should be able to do that. That's common.
Thank you.
Carl, check your email. I just sent you an email about updating your TPM. Check the model number and see if yours is one of the ones that's included in this.
Thanks, Bill. The other thing we're going to do today is I'm going to be talking about the Portal TV, which I've had a lot of fun with, and I wanted just to share some thoughts with everyone before you watch it. So I want you to think about this: is that when Hewie and I decided to start Tech for Senior, we did it with the idea of helping people with social isolation, and I was just listening to a show this morning, and it talked about mental illness and how social isolation has really caused a big problem in seniors with depression. And so hopefully this show has helped because we can talk and chat and it's something to do. And I think for that we've done a pretty good job with that. But there are some people that we probably know, not that are on this show, that just don't want to use computers. They for a variety of reasons, they're just not into computers or tablets or cell phones or stuff like that. And today when you watch the Portal TV segment that I'm going to show, I want you to think about people who are, you might know that might benefit from this. And I'm not going to explain because you'll see it all in the video, but I want you to think about, hey, so-and-so could use that, or that might be a good idea for so-and-so, and share our experiences with people, because I think, we're the techies and we can go out and we can help people. And I think this is a very unique product, and you'll be able to see how it works. And I think it's quite interesting. So I thought that's why I brought it up this week.
Roberta has a hand up.
Go ahead, Roberta.
I just wanted to tell Ivana, I have several Bluetooth things, my printer, my scanner, a clock. They always drop, and I wind up using a USB cable. So if you have any problems with dropping with your Bluetooth, get another headset if you can return that one that has USB where you can plug it in. Call from unknown. I've had terrible luck with Bluetooth, and thanks to Hewie, I checked, I have 5.0, so I shouldn't be having that problem.
Yeah, did you know that Bluetooth uses the same frequency as USB? That's why there's an interference problem between the two. If you all of a sudden are using Bluetooth and you turn off your USB devices altogether, all of a sudden magically your Bluetooth will work fine.
Really? You have to turn off the USB?
Yeah, I've got a USB hub with 10 drives attached to it.
Yeah.
If I have just 2 drives on it, my speakers work fine. If I put a third or a fourth, if I go up to 10, my Bluetooth speakers won't connect anymore. And I researched into it a lot. I even went through Ask Leo, and I contacted ASUS and all the rest of them. And that's because Intel in there, these people are so freaking stupid. When they originally started the Bluetooth specification, they used 2.4 because it was available to everybody to use. Nobody had proprietary stakes on any of it. But it's using the same damn frequency as USB. So if it gets enough power and boosted, guess what? You got 2 things trying to, it's like having 2 people on the Zoom meeting. both trying to shout at the same time, with the same volume level, of course, nobody's going to get heard. Well, it's the same thing with the Bluetooth and the USB. And not a whole lot you can do about it.
Thanks, Steve. We've got to we can do this in the Q&A, but it's time for Ron to get ready to start.
Yep, just about
All
top
right.
of the hour.
We're just about top of the hour, and we will be ready to roll.
Hello. I don't know if I'm muted or not. I was muted. I'm new. I'm Elaine. And here I am.
Welcome, Elaine. Welcome.
Okay.
Very good.
Very good.
Welcome. Enjoy the show. We'll be starting in about 30 seconds. But enjoy the show. I'm going to be muting everybody now. So let's, if we have to unmute yourself through the show, you can just do that. But I'm just going to mute everybody. Welcome, Tech for Senior Live, or sorry, not Tech for Senior, Tech for Senior. It's episode 89, and it is now, it's December the 6th. It's snowing. It's snowing here. Where's Dewey? Dewey, it's snowing. He's down in Mesa, so he's nice and warm, but it has indeed started to snow. It is so welcome everybody. There are 68 people in our in the show today, and we have a bunch more over on YouTube. Thank you so much for coming. As I say each week, it's your enthusiasm that keeps us going and keeps us making videos and keeps us working hard to produce the show. Actually, 2 shows a week now, which is great. We have 2 shows running today. We'll have this show is being broadcast over on YouTube. For those of you who are over there on YouTube, we will be ending the show at about 10 minutes to the hour and just before Ray's music segment. And then we will be, and if you want to come over here to participate in the question and answer part of the show, that's great. Just pop over and join in our Zoom meeting, and we will be happy to have you. So that's happening now. And of course, we're taping this show. So if you can't see it or you want to see it later on today, you'll be able to see that because it's being taped. Our premiere service today is actually very interesting. We're going to have Chris Rosinski a year ago bought a Acer Spin 713 Chromebook. It still is winning all the awards. Costco frequently has it on sale. So I thought it would be a good idea that he can tell you about his and talk about a little bit about this. So he'll be talking about the Acer Spin 713. Dewey's going to talk about the difference between streaming and cord cutting. I'm going to tell you how you can make money on YouTube. So that's coming up. And also Ray, I don't know if you remember, but you did a talk on routers and Wi-Fi, and we're going to replay that today. So we're going to be doing that. That'll all be on the premiere version of our show. And I'm going to talk a lot about that today. We have a little video for you I made on what the premiere service is. We still get a lot of email and questions about that service. So that's all. So we have a big show for you today. Lots happening. Bob, of course, is away. He's off doing a talk at another club. Dewey is here. He made it safely to Arizona. He's there with his family. getting organized and enjoying the sunny weather. He will be back next week for a with his segment, which we of course have missed this last week. But he did make it down to Arizona safely, and that's great. So let's introduce everybody today. Hewie,
By the way, Ron, greetings to you. There's something wrong with the setting because I can't get you full screen. Could you check your settings?
my settings are just fine. Must be that Silveridge internet. Hewie, how the heck are you doing? It's snowing here. I got to get the snow shovel out. What are
Well,
you doing in here?
it isn't snowing here.
Right. How'd your week go? You had a good week?
Every week is good. I woke up, no dirt on top. I'm happy.
You're happy. There you go. Now, Ray, does it snow in your neck of the woods? What's happening in the mountains?
Oh yeah, I'm at 5,500 feet elevation here, so we get snow. Most of the time, though, the daytime temperatures are always above freezing, so it melts away pretty quickly. Except like last year when we got 32 inches at one time. That takes a while to go away, but that's a once a decade event.
Right.
So,
And what about you, Bill? You're over in I'm having a senior's moment.
Oklahoma.
In Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City, right? Yeah. So, what's the weather there? Do you get snow in the winter? What's happening? You're muted.
So, right now it's 39 degrees, which has been a surprise because yesterday it was really beautiful. It was almost in the high 70s. And we had that weather for several days running. So this morning was a little bit of a surprise. But I still think it's kind of unseasonably warm here. But
all right. And Dewey, did you want to, I don't know if you're listening, did you want to say anything? Did you want to gloat over the warm weather at Silveridge, or what? Did you want to say anything?
Well, it's very nice here. That's all I can say. And the biggest thing I'm thankful for is my wonderful daughter and son-in-law who drove our car down here with all of our possessions, unloaded it, helped set it up. I couldn't be happier. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you all next week.
Well, I can say that Dewey does have a very lovely family. I've, of course, met them all. They've been, Dewey and I have known each other for many years at Silveridge, and I've met his family. And Dewey, you do have a very, very lovely family. Thank you. And they do look after Dad really well. Great, great. All right. Just a couple of things in the news this week that I wanted to mention before we get on to our show. We're going to start a little earlier because we have a lot going on. But the Pixel Watch, yes, you thought you were finished with watch videos that I'm making, right? You thought that's it. No more darn watch videos, right? Well, yes, Bill James, there is a Pixel Watch for sure coming out in the first quarter of the year. And I will be, of course, getting that and doing some more watch videos. So those of you who are starving for more watch videos, we'll see. So far, the specs, we don't know a lot about it. Other than the leak came this week. And, you know, Google being Google leaks like crazy. So I'm assuming we'll know everything. You know, the Pixel phone we knew everything about it before the launch date. So I'm sure we'll know lots about it. So maybe they'll have some tricks up their sleeves, but so far it looks pretty boring. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Microsoft is rolling back Windows 11 controversial default browser setting. So, Bill, do you think they're getting scared about the Europeans launching another billion-dollar lawsuit against them, or what do you think? They're coming to their senses? No more dirty tricks, or what's happening?
I don't really know. Although I did work on a Windows 11 computer this week, where the individual wanted to have Chrome as the default browser, and I was able to do that with not too much of a problem, but I think they're probably fearful of being sued for that, right? Because it is restrictive as far as free enterprise competitiveness and all of that business.
Yeah.
So another interesting fact I found out about Windows 11, which came to a surprise to me, and I'll pass that on, is that anybody that wants to do an external backup, use an external drive, to back up their Windows 11 machine, they'll find a surprise that there's no obvious way of doing it. However, you have to use the old control panel and then go to Windows update. I'm sorry, Windows backup that you'll see in the control panel.
Oh, on the Windows 10s, yeah.
For the Windows 11 computers, but it's
Right.
not straightforward that you just
Okay.
can't plug a USB drive in there, because surprisingly, the default is OneDrive. But for
Surprise.
but the thing about it is that, I didn't notice that right off, because that's what I use for my backup. I use OneDrive as my backup. So I wasn't cognizant of that until somebody brought it to my attention, and then I had to go research it.
Okay.
And so I'll put that out when we do the demos, that's how you can
Oh, you can
back
do
up
it.
to an external.
Yeah. Thanks, Bill. Okay, we're going to start. Bob, of course, isn't here, but we have a segment ready to go, and I'm going to plug that in, and we are going to have a look and see what Bob has to tell us about the bad guys.
Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending December 3rd, 2021. Hackers almost stole your DNA and got some financial info instead. Hackers could one day steal your DNA to resell on the black market, and they may not have a hard time doing it. DNA Diagnostic Center, a genetic testing firm based in Ohio, now confirms that it suffered a data breach that affected over 2 million people. And what's worse, it took the company 6 months to notice and disclose the breach. The good news is the hackers only stole backup data from the DDC. This data dates from 2004 to 2012 and contains no genetic information. But hackers did obtain the full names, credit card numbers, and CVVS financial account numbers and account passwords for some individuals. While much of this information is now outdated, hackers could still use it to steal your identity. It seems like the DDC lucked out here. That's because it totally did. The data breach is probably not an immediate threat to those who are affected, but hackers didn't gain access to any genetic information. For full details, read the article on Review Geek. Shoppers don't want to hand over their data. A new poll commissioned by e-commerce search specialist Empathy.com revealed that most shoppers distrust online stores and choose not to share personal data with them. In the survey conducted by Census-wide, 4,000 British consumers were asked about their online shopping preferences. About 22% claimed they always use guest checkouts, so they would not have to share any sensitive data by creating an account. When asked if they're extra careful when providing personal data and accepting legal notices, 42% said yes, while another 40% agreed they do not like being asked for unnecessary or sensitive data. The number of security breaches that have happened over the years is huge, commented Avast security evangelist Louis Caron. So minimizing the information shared online is a sensible and wise approach. For more on this story, see InfoSecurity magazine. Malware on Google Play downloaded 300,000 times. Researchers have found that 12 apps downloaded more than 300,000 times from Google Play were actually scams that infected devices with malware. The malware was designed to log keystrokes, take screenshots, steal banking passwords, and steal two-factor authentication codes. According to Ars Technica, the 12 apps ranged from QR scanners to fitness trainers. They fooled Google security by initially functioning like authentic apps. They did what they were supposed to do, but soon they would prompt the users to update, and that's when the malware would get downloaded. Google reports that all 12 apps have been removed from the shop. For more, see CNET. Australia considers classifying social media platforms as publishers. A new bill being promoted by Australia's Prime Minister would classify social media platforms as publishers, thereby making them liable for any defamation complaints. The bill is meant to trigger complaint systems to be set in place on all of Australia's major social media platforms. The proposed complaint system would allow victims of defamatory comments to request the personal information to the alleged defamer. The social media platform would then have to inform the alleged defamer that they are the subject of a complaint and ask for consent to share their personal information. The entire bill in Australia attempts to institute anti-trolling legislation. To learn more, see ZDNet. New York AG pressures Amazon to improve COVID-19 protections. New York Attorney General Letitia James is seeking a court order to require Amazon to appoint a monitor to oversee health and safety measures at its Staten Island warehouse after more than a year of workers' protests. The Staten Island warehouse employs about 5,000 workers, and James alleges Amazon's contact tracing program fails to identify employees who came in contact with others who tested positive for COVID-19. The AG is also asking the company to reinstate worker Christian Smalls, who was fired after leading public protests against Amazon last year, accusing the company of failing to keep employees from contracting the virus at work. For more on this story, see The Verge. Phishing actors start exploiting the Omicron COVID-19 variant. Threat actors are quick to adjust to the latest trends and hot topics, and increasing people's fears is an excellent way to cause people to rush to open an email without first thinking it through. In this case, the Omicron variant is an emerging strain of COVID-19 that has scientists concerned over its high transmission and the potential ineffectiveness of existing vaccines against its mutations. This all makes it an ideal topic for phishing, and even the vaccinated are worried about how Omicron would affect them in the case of an infection. For more on this topic, read Bleeping Computer. There's been a large rise in ransomware in Q3 of 2021. There was a significant rise in the ransomware submission this quarter, with submissions rising from 137,537 in Q2 to 181,051 in Q3, an increase of 31.64%. Stop Deja Vu was by far the most submitted ransomware variant in Q3, accounting for 76.4% of all submissions, up from 71.2% in Q2. Stop is so prolific because it primarily targets home users, unlike other ransomware variants, which tend to take a quality over quantity approach by targeting high-value businesses. In Q3, we also observed a new addition to the ransomware landscape, 0XXX, first observed in June 2021. 0XXX targets NAS devices and accounted for 2% of submissions in Q3, with Stop submissions excluded. For more on this response, see MCSoft. This week's must-read on the Avast blog. While George Orwell may not have predicted the surveillance society of 2021, the similarities are too close for comfort. 2021 is a reminder the threat of Big Brother still looms, but we have the power to stop it. Follow the link for the full story. And that wraps up this week's Avast Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Bob, wherever you are. All right. Excuse me. Let me start my segment now. Good day, Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Facebook Portal TV, a new level in communication. This week I used my Facebook Portal TV for a Zoom conference call. I used my Portal TV to get a Facebook Messenger call from my daughter and family in China. And I also did a 3-way conference call using it with Facebook Messenger. This is an outstanding product, and I'm going to explain why. I'm going to tell you about the magic sauce that makes this work so well and why I decided to do a video about this. Now, Facebook Portal TV is a device that you attach to your TV, and it allows it to be turned into a communication tool. Yes, you can use Zoom on this. It provides a camera and microphone for your television. You don't need a computer. Now, there are a number of other devices on the market, as you see on the right side of your screen, that actually are similar devices. Now, we're finally starting to see televisions arrive with Zoom capability. And the first off the mark is, of course, the new Fire TV Omni series by Amazon. Zoom finally gets a smart TV app, but only on the new Omni TVs. And this has a built-in microphone, but you will have to purchase a camera to add on. But this will, later this year, it will be getting the Zoom app, so you'll be able to use this right on your new Omni TV. Now, you know the routine. If you like this video, please click the like. And if you'd like to see more, please click the like and subscribe. Thanks so much. Let's get on with the show. Facebook Portal TV is part of a suite of products made by Facebook. I purchased this on sale for $99 with the regular retail price as $200. You'll see from the diagram here that there is a number of other Facebook tablets or desktop displays. The Facebook Portal TV is specifically designed for your television to allow it to be a communication tool by providing a microphone and camera. Now, what comes in the box? There are 3 parts in the box. One, of course, is the camera microphone device. This is well made and you'll be impressed. It's heavy, solid, not cheap plastic. Well done, Facebook. There also is a remote and a power cord. Absent, of course, is the HDMI cord, which you will need to connect the device to your TV. Your TV must have an HDMI input for this device to work. So you're going to have to go and buy an HDMI cord. Don't buy it at Costco because they'll want to sell you 2 HDMI cords for $20. Don't go to Best Buy. They'll want to sell you 1 HDMI cord for $20. Buy it on Amazon. You can get the Amazon's basic HDMI cord. You'll only need a 3-foot cord for $6.85, and it'll probably be delivered within 2 hours because they're readily available. So you might look at that because you will need an HDMI cord to connect this device. It does not come with it. Now, in this picture, you'll see that I've mounted this device on the top of my television. It can actually be mounted either on the top or underneath on the bottom. The cameras are intelligent cameras and will actually move as you move around. I'll explain that a bit later. So it is your choice. You'll see that there is a clip on the front and it makes it very secure and easily mounted on the top of your TV. Now, in the top right diagram, you'll see there are 2 connections into my television. The top is an HDMI coming from my cable TV, and the second one down, of course, is the Facebook Portal TV. You must have an HDMI port available for this device. If you look down in the setup on my TCL TV, they'll all be a little bit different. You just have to go to the setup for port 2, and I labeled mine Portal TV. This makes it easier when you're trying to find port 2. You just look for Portal TV. I'll be explaining that a bit later. Now, the setup is super easy. The first thing you have to do is connect to your Facebook account, and you know there's the usual pairing where you go on to facebook.com device and they'll give you a code to enter in, and there's a simple pairing with your Facebook account. After you do that, of course, they'll want to download the latest update. This takes a few minutes, and then it looks into your Facebook Messenger account and will import your contacts from Facebook Messenger right into your Portal TV. There are three ways that you can control this device. The first is with the remote that comes with it. The second is Miss A. All the commands we'll be talking about today can be done through voice control. There is also a virtual remote control using your Portal TV with the virtual remote in the Portal mobile app on your phone. I would like also to draw your attention to the fact that you can use Netflix and Prime Video on this device. These apps are included. You will, of course, have to sign into your account. The smart camera automatically adjusts to stay with the action, whether you're moving around the kitchen, chasing the kids, or in the living room. I want to give you two examples. If you could look on the right side of your screen under the Zoom Browns Happy Hour. This is a happy hour I have Friday afternoon at 4:30, and we connect with a group of people across Canada and the United States. I used my Portal TV this week, and it was great. I want you to look at the top left-hand corner of the screen and focus on Gail and I. You'll see as I leave and enter the room, the change in the camera angle and zoom. I didn't do this, this occurred automatically. Let's have a look. So here I am, and as I leave the room, watch the camera as it zooms in now on Gail. This occurs automatically. Now I'm going to reappear and watch again. The camera sees me as I come around the corner and zooms back out. And here I am back in the conference. Again, I didn't do anything with the camera. It did this all automatically. If you look on the bottom of your screen, you'll see a Facebook Messenger, actually a three-way call I had with my friend Byron. I want you to watch now. In this example, you'll see I'm talking to Byron. My wife's going to come around the corner of the kitchen and adjust the camera. Here I am sitting over the Facebook Messenger. Watch as my wife comes in on the other side of the counter. The camera picks it up and she's able to participate in the call. This is an example of how the camera automatically senses you in the room and will adjust the angle to include everybody. All right, what would happen if somebody called you while you were watching TV? You're watching your television and someone calls you on Facebook Messenger. Let's see what would happen. Now I'm going to play this clip and you'll see my friend Byron is calling me on Facebook Messenger as I'm watching television. At the top, you'll see the Facebook portal start to ring, and it's going to, it has a distinctive ring, and then you're going to see me grab the remote for the television, home, and this brings up a menu on my television, and you'll see I've labeled HDMI 2 as Portal TV. I simply click that, and then with the remote for Portal TV, I simply click enter and it answers the phone. And so let me show you how this works. You'll see the light flashing, indicating a call coming in with that distinctive ring. I now push the remote on the television. You'll see Portal TV. I answer, and I'm now answering the call with the remote. Hello there, Byron. And here Byron is now on the call with me. I'm on the television in the kitchen with my Portal TV. There is an array of 8 microphones that identify and highlight the speaker's voice. The highlighted voice will change depending on who is speaking in the room. The requirements for Facebook's Portal TV are that your TV must have an HDMI port. You will require Wi-Fi internet, and you will require a Facebook account for the initial setup. You also will need an account for Netflix, Amazon Prime, or Zoom, although the apps will be present on the device. Other uses of Facebook Portal TV. Well, it can be used as a photo frame for your TV. Any pictures you store on Facebook Pictures will be able to be part of a photo frame for your TV. You can also share Facebook Watch Originals. These are shows together in a video call. So you can have a group of friends together and all watch a movie together. They have story time and augmented reality masks. This is really a great feature and one that I tried with my 4-year-old grandson last week. You get to actually read a story to him and you actually participate in the story. You'll have some masks as well that can go over your face that really adds a lot of comical relief for it. I think it's a lot of fun, and if you have grandchildren, you'll definitely want to try it. You can also stream apps. As I said before, you can stream Netflix, Prime Video. So you can take a old TV that has an HDMI port and make it a pretty modern device. Now I'd like to talk about the unique use for seniors. Again, as I've said, this device works on any TV with an HDMI port. So you can take an older TV that is not a smart TV and create a very smart TV with this device. The other thing is it's not a computer and it works with your TV. You know, there are just some people, particularly as we get older, who just don't want to be bothered with computers. They're not interested in tablets or any devices that resemble a computer. Well, this isn't a computer. It's part of your TV. And most seniors will have a TV in front of their bed. Also, if you have any vision or mobility problems, this can all be done through Miss A and can operate with voice commands. So if you have trouble with holding a tablet, you have arthritic fingers, you just don't do well, this all can be done through voice commands. And you know, it's going to help seniors stay connected and avoid social isolation. This is a good one. We need to talk about it, and I hope you share this information with friends and seniors. Plus, Ron Brown with Tech for Seniors, a new level in communication. Facebook Portal TV. Give it a try. It's a good one. All right. So if you have any questions, we'll be able to answer that in the question and answer. I'm going to reshare my screen now before Hewie comes on, and Bob has one more tidbit of information for us. We're going to
stay away from Verizon's Custom Experience. Custom Experience is data collection in disguise. On its FAQ page, Verizon says Custom Experience uses information about the website you visit and the apps you use on your mobile device to help us determine your interests, such as sports lover or outdoor enthusiast. Don't worry though, because the company says we make efforts to eliminate the use of websites that may be sensitive in nature. For example, we employ filters that are designed to exclude websites related to adult content, health conditions, sexual orientation, and others. How nice of Verizon to make efforts to avoid websites you might not want the company to know about. Of course, trying means that the firm could fail and see every website you visit, including sensitive ones. There's also Custom Experience Plus, which gives Verizon even more access. Verizon says this adds device location information we obtain from the Verizon network and from Verizon apps you have permitted to collect location for these purposes. Information about your Verizon Fios services and customer proprietary network information. Verizon does say that it doesn't sell the information to third-party advertisers. Instead, the information is for Verizon's purposes only. We do not share information that identifies you outside of Verizon as part of these programs other than with service providers who work for us. These service providers are required to use the information only for the purposes Verizon defines and not for their own or others' marketing or advertising purposes, the FAQ reads. The biggest issue with this program is that it's opt-out. If you're on Verizon, you're enrolled in Custom Experience by default. You will be part of the Custom Experience program unless you opt out. You can opt out using the privacy preference page on My Verizon site or the privacy setting page within the My Verizon app, says Verizon. It's easy to opt out through the Verizon app, but that doesn't mean making it opt out is okay. Log in with your account and uncheck the boxes next to Custom Experience and Custom Experience Plus to keep Verizon from seeing just about everything you do with your phone. The recommendation is that you opt out, as there's no reason you want your wireless carrier to see this much about what you're doing. Always do some research before opting into anything new. Many things aren't what they seem once you look under the covers, especially if the advertising hype posts a rosy picture. Read the full story on this topic written by Dave LeClaire, editor of How to Geek. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
All right, Hewie, are you ready to roll?
I certainly am. All I have to do is click a couple of buttons here.
There you go.
And tell it to start. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel.
Tech for Seniors present the website of the week with Hewie Poplock.
Website of the week number 5. I'm Hewie Poplock. Today we're going to talk about Scam Advisor, and just for the fun of it, I'm going to throw in another website called FakeSpot. Please note, I do not recommend nor condemn any of the products or sellers mentioned in this video. They are only being used as examples of what I found when searching for websites to use. Always research the products and the seller thoroughly before purchasing any product online. As I said, we're talking about Scam Advisor today. This is what the website looks like. If you type in the name of a website, you click on it, it gives you a trust score and then gives you a lot of information. We're going to examine that a little more closely after we go through some of these slides. Also on Scam Advisor, you can learn about scams and lots of articles to help you, phishing and identity theft, and those other topics. They also have articles about reliable sites, online shopping, financial sites, and so on. The reliable online consumer electronics stores, for instance. They talk about the websites that are to safely shop electronics online. They give you a list and they show you about how many monthly visitors each one has. Notice Samsung has 722 million. Amazon has 2.2 billion. Here's an example of something that was found on Amazon, and it shows you some FakeSpot information. It gives either a warning that the seller may be suspicious or the seller is approved. So we're going to talk a little bit about FakeSpot. It provides secure shopping on Amazon, Best Buy, eBay, Sephora, Shopify, and Walmart. I do have it turned on when I use Google Chrome, but you can also download it for iOS, for any of the Android phones, and for Firefox. Facebook has had sponsored ads for quite a while. When I went to put this presentation together, all of a sudden they disappeared. But I did have a screen capture of one of them, and I'm going to use that here. And that's this one. So at the top of it, it said it was sponsored. So that gives you the first indication that it may or may not be good. So here's the item that they were advertising. And a good price. So I went to their website. It looks very professional. So I scrolled down, there was the article that I was interested in. Normally it's $99 according to them, and they're selling it for half price, $50, $49.95. 4 terabyte solid state drive, a little portable, about the size of a thumb drive. Wow, that's quite a price. I found it on Amazon at $27.99, almost another 50% off. However, notice it says this seller has a warning, and it appears all of the information on this was exactly the same as the one for the one I just showed you. So we're going to examine that one using Scam Advisor in just a few minutes. Then there was another item. It looked really nice. It clips on the back of your laptop and gives you 2 additional screens. You plug it in to your laptop. When I went to click on the website, whoops, they're gone. We're also going to look at that one through the eyes of Scam Advisor. But let's take a look at Scam Advisor and see what it sees with those particular items. We are on the Scam Advisor website. Let's scroll down the page just to take a look at it, to remind ourselves what it looked like when I did some screen captures for you. There's some information here. There's help. There's the reliable sites, foundation partners, Scam Advisor in the press. So there's a lot of information about Scam Advisor on the website. But what we're primarily going to look at is the Scam Advisor itself. So let's put in one of the websites and tell it to search. You're seeing this real time. It's been reported as a possible scam, and it has a trust score of 1 out of 100. Certainly would discourage me from buying from that particular seller. Let's scroll down and see what it says. Why does that website have a very low trust score? Well, the positive highlights, it has an SSL certificate. The website seems to be an online store. The website offers get your money back, and this website is trusted by Trend Micro. Negative highlights, the owner of the website is using a service to hide their identity on who is. But I do that for my website. This website is very young. It means it hasn't been online very long. According to the Miss A, this site has a very low A rating. This website does not have many links to it. This website is hosted in a high-risk country, and there is a high number of suspicious websites on the same server. You can add an opinion if you wish. There may be some reviews and some other websites to look at, but there is a full review of the website, a company rating, and a web shop analysis, some technical analysis as well. And then there are facts about the website. It gives a Miss A rating. It tells you that the domain is only 6 months old, which is actually, for some of these not recommended websites, that's quite a while. The who is data is hidden. The company is in China. And it gives you some other information about the certificate and where it's from and where it's hosted and when the date, when it was registered and the last update and when the renew date is. So you can see, using this website called Scam Advisor, it may give you enough information to maybe think again about purchasing from this website. Let's look at this one. Search. This gave a trust score of 50 out of 100. But if you remember, on this particular one, this was with the 2 added screens for your laptop, so you could have 3 screens. If we click on visit the site, it's not there anymore. I wouldn't trust them. If you had ordered, you have no way of contacting them now or to see if you have a problem if you get the device. Whether if it doesn't work, you have no support at all, and you obviously can't return it. Let's look at another, and that would be this one, and search. And this also has a trust score of 100. So as we look here, there's still some negatives. There are some positives. The website is very old. It's deemed to be popular by Miss A. It has a lot of website links to it. It seems to be an online store, and it's trusted by Trend Micro. And under negatives, again, they're hiding their identity, which is very common. It's hosted in a high-risk country, however, and they didn't find any reviews on popular review sites. And this website seems to be offering well-known brands from a high-risk country, but it does give information. Let's take a look at the detailed analysis and see if we see anything. It's right here. And again, the information, it's been online for 9 years. It does give us information on the technical contacts and all the information. And so you see how it's a score of 100 for it. You see that it does have a trust score of 100. This has been Website of the Week number 5. I'm Hewie Poplock. We've been talking about Scam Advisor and FakeSpot. Please note, and there we go.
Thank you. That's great news. Wow, I'm going to use that site. That's cool. We'll probably have lots of questions about that in the Q&A, so I'm going to hold your questions. The next segment I wanted to do is I get a lot of email about our YouTube Premiere services coming up at hour. And they're wondering, what is this? How do you get there? And so I did a video on this just to let everybody know. I just wanted to play this for you. Good day, it's Ron Brown with Tech for Seniors. You know, at Tech for Seniors, we're always trying to improve our product and add new features. Well, today I have a big announcement, and we're adding a new feature that will be using YouTube's Premiere feature. You know, we've got a lot of content on our YouTube channel, and we're anxious to have it used. So what I've done is I've gone back to each episode and created a short 20-minute video on the pertinent information on that particular day. For example, 1 year ago, episode 16, Hewie did an excellent talk on Snagit, and I talked on old photographs. So I've taken that information and put it into a 20-minute video, with the idea that you could use this in your computer club, or you can use it for educational purposes as you wish. We're going to broadcast this on YouTube Premiere. So what does this mean? Well, the format of our show on Monday will stay the same. We're going to have a 60-minute show, as we always have, followed by a Q&A session of about 20 minutes. We're then going to let you get up, rest, maybe go to the bathroom, and at 10:30 or at 1:30, the YouTube Premiere version will start. This is a YouTube video, and in this case, it's a 20-minute video on what to do with old photographs and Snagit, and it will start automatically at 10:30. You will be able to watch the show. It will be recorded, so it's there for future use. It will be labeled as episode 16A, as the original episode was 16. So each week, I will announce what the topics are that will be available for this. All that you have to do is go to our YouTube channel, and at 1/2 or at 10:30, the video will start playing. So what does all this mean? Well, today at 10:30, if you come over to our YouTube channel, you'll be able to see the video. So how do you get to the YouTube channel? Maybe you haven't been there before. Well, if you go to www.tech4senior and click on the live stream button at the top of the page, it will take you directly to our YouTube channel. When you get there, you'll see this menu. And if you look here, you'll see, of course, our upcoming Tech for Senior Live on Thursday. And below that, you'll see the YouTube premiere event that will start at 10:30. The event will continue on for 20 minutes and then stop. We'll have no further discussion, and you will be able to play this video back and use it as a regular YouTube video. There is a chat feature on there, and I'm not sure if we'll monitor the chat or not. We haven't made a decision about that yet. If you had any questions, you could certainly bring those up the following week. So this is a trial program. Hopefully you'll be interested in this and see how it works out. So let's see what happens with our new feature at Tech for Senior, our new YouTube premiere event. There you go. So Ray, just before you get started, Bob has one more thing. He's been busy this week. So I got one more little thing to show you from Bob. And then we'll get on to your segment here. Let me just share my screen again.
Here's a reminder to make sure you're always getting legitimate software. Attackers hide malware in cracked, illegal, unauthorized, and repackaged copies of software. This gives people who are themselves trying to steal software more than they bargained for. This summer, we talked about Krakonosh hiding in cracked versions of top games and how its coin mining malware netted attackers over $2 million. Avast Threat Labs has released new research highlighting another family of malware that uses the same trick but is spread even more widely. Coin Helper is another coin mining malware family that is bundled in with cracked, illegal, unauthorized repackaged copies of games and programs and has netted its authors more than $330,000, primarily from Monero, but also Bitcoin and Ethereum. One thing that makes CoinHelper different from Krakonosh is the huge variety of software the attackers behind CoinHelper are abusing. While we found Krakonosh exclusively in cracked games, we have found CoinHelper bundled with cracked and repackaged software, including games, but also game cheats, utilities like WinRAR, versions of nearly all major vendors, security software, including old versions of our own product, and even Google Chrome, Microsoft Office, and the new Windows 11 operating system from Microsoft. All in all, we have found CoinHelper bundled with over 2,700 different games, utilities, applications, security programs, and operating system images. Since the beginning of 2020, we have seen more than 220,000 attempts to infect Avast users with CoinHelper. The most attacked country we saw was Russia, which accounted for 83,000 or 38% of the attacks. Ukraine was the second most attacked country with 42,000 or 19% of the attacks. How to protect yourself? Fortunately, there's an easy way to protect yourself from CoinHelper and Krakonosh. Don't download illegal, cracked, unauthorized, repackaged copies of games, cheats, applications, security software, and operating systems. If you avoid illegal, cracked, unauthorized, repackaged software, you avoid the threat. Every instance of CoinHelper we've seen is in one of these kinds of software, never in legitimate, authorized, or legal software. The way you do this is you only get software from known trusted sources, like the Windows Store or vendors' official websites. You can also check the digital signature of an installer to verify it by right-clicking it, selecting Properties, and verifying the information on the Signature tab. Finally, you can always tell something is sketchy if it urges you to disable your antivirus before or during the installation. Legitimate software should never advise this. If you make sure you're always getting legitimate software, you can avoid threats like Coin Helper. Stay safe, stay secure, and don't accept any wooden nickels like Coin Helper. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Bob, wherever you are. Thanks so much again. So Ray, or I'm just going to say goodbye to people over on YouTube, and then we'll get going. Thank you so much. If you're over on YouTube now, and there are a few people still over there, you can come over to our Zoom meeting. We're going to end the broadcast now to YouTube. Thank you for coming, and we will see you same time, same place next week.